classes. In other words, there was something for every budget. With the length of 102 feet and the height of 175 feet, a width of 92 feet, weighing in over 46,000 tons. Yeah, it was pretty big. The ocean liner was a floating hotel with all the comforts, a gymnasium, dining rooms, reading areas, salons, bars, Turkish baths, and squash courts. Hey Omar, what the heck is a squash court? I asked the same question. Squash courts are very similar in what today we call racquetball courts. The ship only transported 64 lifeboats, so it would only cover half of its capacity at 2,200 people. In the case of an emergency, lifeboats were used to transport passengers to safety ships. I think we could all say that what happened to the Titanic was beyond an emergency and very unexpected. The owners of the Titanic, White Star Line, thought it'd be a good idea to have less lifeboats on the deck so then they wouldn't be overcrowded when people would be outside hanging out. If you ever seen some of these lifeboats in person, they're massive. So I could see that 60 of them would take a significant amount of space up on these decks. Many trusted the Titanic, thinking it was unsinkable. On its first maiden voyage, April 10th, 1912, in England, which was highly publicized, many saw passengers boarding the ship that would stop in France and then Kingston to pick up more passengers and continue on to the United States, New York City. A lot of these museums that exist today have used blueprints of the Titanic to recreate what this ship once looked like. Today I'm visiting one that I have visited before in Las Vegas, Nevada, not only to see some of these relics in person, but to walk amongst the spirits that have a story to tell. Until the replica Titanic 2 is built, this is the closest thing we have to board and explore the Titanic today. So I'm at the entrance here, and they did give me this card with somebody who either survived or didn't survive. Of course, his name is Emerald Brandella from Omaha, Nebraska, 48 years old. And would you look at that? They are traveling alone. A little bit of a coincidence here. Look at my shirt. Alone. I'm traveling alone also. Now this is why the Titanic Museum is so haunted. These are actual relics from the Titanic, and last time I was here there was some stuff that wasn't here that we're going to see today. Well, the place might look a little bit different. I don't remember any of this. And money bucket. So right here in front of us is the architects working on the blueprints for the Titanic ship. And here's some information on it. I think I walked right past this last time. This guy was only 36 years old. Thomas Andrews helped design the Titanic. Please let me know if you see or hear something. There may be a couple people walking in and out to clean. I'm going to spend a little bit more time than last time. This is really cool. I kind of disregarded this the last time. This is actually like getting on the Titanic. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this museum. It's like you're stepping right on the Titanic. Wow. Look at this. Now this is one of the places where people have seen apparitions. One thing I really love is they tell some stories about some of the passengers, and here's one right here. Miss Leah Axe and Frank Philip Axe, third-class immigrants. Here's another story here. Frederick Godwin family, third-class immigrants. Yo, that sounded like a growl or something, or like a call, I don't know. So this is what the third-class passengers would usually ride in. Now this is one of the rooms, and these are some of the relics for third class. And if you stayed in third class, this is what a room would look like. It was 4 bunks like this. You'll have to excuse my lisp. I am wearing my invisible braces, and they do make me talk a little funny, so in case you're wondering. Whoa, cool. Silver-plated butter cooler. It blows me away that these artifacts on display were not only almost lost forever under the sea, but were on board the actual Titanic. So if you had the pleasure of being in second class, that's what it would have cost back in the 1930s. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, no, so this is... Hey, that's not fair. I want to know what it cost back then. But yeah, that's what the similar cost would be in today's dollar. We are in 2022, so that's a little off. It is so fascinating to me that they still have some of this stuff here. That's actual silver. Cool. That is not a toilet. So this was the shipbuilder's promise right here. Everything has been done in regards to the furniture and fittings to make first-class accommodations more than equal to that provided in the finest hotels on shore. I have no idea what this is. I didn't see this the last time I was here, but that did come off the RMS Titanic. Well, let's read. Here it is right here. Sea deck landing sign. This sign with its brass letters and oak backing was originally located at the base of the aft first class staircase near the ship's barbershop. And I'm going to show you the staircase here in a second. One of the reasons I absolutely loved the Queen Mary was, I think it was built like 6 to 10 years after the Titanic, so there was similarities as far as the way they did the woodworking and the style. I mean, there's, sorry, this lady is, hey, can you keep it down? Keep it down. Okay, she is a bougie lady, and this is what her fancy first class room would have looked like.
Shall I get your gown?
Cool.
Yes, in a moment.
And this is an exact replica of one of the first class studio rooms. On the Titanic, there was only 750 first class passengers, and in today's money, it would have cost you $2,500 back then, which is 40,000 or so in today's dollar. Yeah, a lot of money. Okay, I was a little bit off, but I was close, 50,000, and there was 2 other suites that were $103,000, well, $4,500, and that was for the most luxurious suites, B deck. Whoa, this was the creepy room from in here. Oh, I love this, I forgot all about this. Oh my gosh, wow, this is breathtaking. This is so magical. This is exactly what it would have looked like on the... Oh, wow. It's like I'm on the Titanic right now. Whoa. Whoa. Look over there. Now those are actually mirrors to give it the illusion like it keeps going. I'll give you an example here. Look. Oh, here I am. Goofy old me. This was the promenade deck, which was probably the deck for first class, maybe second class. No, it was, I think it was just first class. I was told that this was the first class favorite. I mean, why not? Being out in the open waters, looking at the stars. Now, it was really cold outside, too. I mean, you seen the movie? Great movie, by the way. Oh, what's it say over here? Mr. Frederick Fleet, lookout RMS Titanic. You had one job, and you failed. No, I'm just kidding. So he was the one that was partially responsible. But I mean, it wasn't his fault. It was cold out, it was dark, that there were icebergs in the vicinity. Supposedly there was no moonlight to help assist him, and the inevitable happened. Was a great guy though. He was actually abandoned by his mother. All right, so check it out right here. Iceberg right ahead. Here's kind of an example of the iceberg, and that is real ice right here. You used to be able to go right up to it and touch it. I think they're discouraging it now. Now, throughout the Titanic exhibit, you'll see a lot of these relics that actually came off the Titanic, making this museum very haunted. I'm not sure why. Perhaps there are people that have attached themselves, maybe passengers, maybe some of the crew. That's one thing that I really love about this place. It's so dark in here. One thing I did not know when it came to the passengers dying on the Titanic is that a lot of them didn't die from drowning. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them did, but most of them, a majority of them, died from the hypothermia of the cold waters. This is pretty rad right here. This is a model of the Titanic, pretty large model, and this is kind of a good example of how it sits beneath the sea. Now, the wreckage is 2.5 miles beneath the surface of the ocean. Just to give you an example, well, the North Atlantic, and the water is very, very cold. But this is what it looks like. Every once in a while, they do go down there and bring up some debris. I did show this the last time I was here. This is one of the biggest pieces recovered from the Titanic. And this is where it would have been on the Titanic. I mean, just to give you an example of how massive the Titanic ship is. I mean, this is just a small piece on here, but it looks huge here in person. Huge. Okay, I know this doesn't look like much. This is something that I walked right past the last time, but this is a 3D rendering of the wreckage site, and you can see right there where the Titanic would have been underwater. I just want to reach out and touch it. Like, that's the Titanic right there. Like, that's how close we are to the Titanic. Like, I don't think it hit me like it did now, but we're right next to the Titanic. Like, it's right there in front of us. And all these little bits and pieces too. I mean, this is the Titanic right here. Now, this is a video on how they brought that piece up from the bottom of the ocean. I mean, 2.5 miles down. It took them 2 years to plan to get that out. I mean, just that piece right there. Interesting. And that's when they, I guess, brought it here. And that's when they brought it here to Las Vegas. Man, that is so cool. I could go down there and bring like one of those underwater UAV drones just to see the Titanic. I mean, you need a pretty big boat to get out there. So this porthole right here would have been a window in the first class, maybe even second class dining. You know what I mean? Like, that's the Titanic right there. All right, I'm still kind of geeking out here. So this is what that big piece looks like from behind. I'm sure many preservation techniques went into this to keep it from falling apart, because like many people, one of my biggest questions here was, why don't they just bring up the Titanic? And it's been underwater for so long. If they tried to bring up the whole thing, it would just fall apart. So that's the reason why. I mean, even that big piece, special consideration went into place just because of that. A lot of planning just for that one piece. So maybe one day there's some technology that they can preserve things underwater and be able to bring it up. So I had to come back here just because I love it so much. Wow. And believe it or not, right when I got here, it was like 10 times colder than I remembered. Like, it's freezing cold right here. Maybe they... Are you really me? I wonder, is that really me? Prove that it's really me. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's really me. Some say that mirrors are portals for spirits. I just don't know why it's so cold in here now. Wonder if I summoned something. Now, in case you're wondering why every once in a while you'll see me with a mask on and then you may see it off, is because if I see like somebody cleaning from a distance or like a worker, they're usually wearing masks. So just to respect them, I'll put my mask on. But I mean, you can see that I'm here all alone. You're gonna hear some music playing. You may hear some people talking, but that's like the TVs kind of explaining some information on the Titanic. But yeah, we're here by ourselves. Big shout out to the Titanic exhibit crew for allowing us to come here. I had to go through quite a bit to do that. Why is it so cold? Oh my gosh. It's freezing in here. Rest in peace, buddy. So that's some of the talking that you may hear
using Morse code
here in the background. Oh wow. I believe these are some of the sayings of the passengers. For God's sake, it's your last chance. Go. Wow. How did they even get these? Maybe these were people that were still alive, that survived. Cool. Compass bowl. Goes the darkest hallway here at the Titanic exhibit. I feel the most creepiest here. I don't know why. Alright, so this is kind of what I was saying earlier. The wreck of the RMS Titanic is surrounded by a debris field over 1 mile wide. Oh my god. In sections. This debris field is filled with pieces of the ship's machinery and the personal effects of Titanic's passengers and crew. Silent witnesses to the tragic events of April 14th, 1912. And that had to be absolutely horrific for the passengers. Oh my god, look at this. This is cool. Pair of dress boots. Whoa. These are tiny little shoes. A pocket knife. These are all relics. William Henry Allen work shirt. I wonder if this is some of the new stuff that was added that I didn't get to see last time. Oh, these are all the names. Look at that. Third class passengers, the crew, and it has numbers at the top. How many were saved and how many were lost. Yeah, 5. So there was definitely a lot more lives lost than saved. Second class passengers. Wow. Check this out. The first class passengers, this definitely outweighed the ratio of survival. Once you get to the, I mean, I don't know if there's anything there, but it's my opinion. I'm sure some of them paid to get on some of those boats. I see a lot of women. And yeah, a lot of the men are the ones that died. So I sat here and just off a lot of the names. And it makes a lot of sense. They wanted to make the women and children a priority, a big priority. The saddest part is a majority of the people that died on the Titanic were crew. Alright fam, so this is Michael and he works here. And he's gonna kind of share some stories that I found very compelling. The story about the staircase.
Yep, staircase. So we actually hear footsteps all the time in the grand staircase upstairs. We've got some cardboard flooring up there, so if anybody tried to walk up there, put their weight up there, they'd fall right through. But we do hear running upstairs. A little girl, I think her name is Emily, I believe we call her.
Yeah.
Emily, yeah. And also in the grand staircase, we saw some handprints before the exhibit was going to open. I came in the grand staircase to take some photos, and there were many handprints all over the glass. Pretty cool. We usually
kids, maybe?
Kids, yeah. I'm thinking it's maybe a little girl. Yeah.
Okay.
There was one in the first class room. There was some spectacles, and some man was seen actually in the dark hallway where they used to be, staring at his glasses. He was wearing first class attire. But since we moved him to first class room, he actually stopped showing up, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, we got lots of cool haunts here.
That grand staircase is haunted, and he said that if anybody were to even walk up there, that you can just completely fall through. It sounds like there's a bunch of people in here. Well, they do have a store up front. That's what it is. We are getting to the end, but I almost want to walk back to that staircase. So there are some workers in here. We are in the staircase area. You can see right there's Michael. But yeah, they're real strict about letting you film over there because I do photography. This is the glass case that Michael was telling us that they caught some handprints, and it was early in the morning before they opened up. And there's a janitor. I've seen these janitors around the clock cleaning these glass cases. I'm sneaking around here. No one knows I'm up here, but I wanted to show you those thin cardboard floors. There's even a danger sign up there. You can see paper thin floors. You would fall right in. There's just lights. Alright fam, so we're back in that first class cabin, and Michael was telling me that these shoes right here have been known to move. You can see all this is roped off. You're not allowed to go over there. So that's pretty cool, and they got cameras all over this place. But to see those shoes just like moving around the room, that's pretty awesome. Wonder if they could get some of that security footage.
Man, look at the time.
No, there's no cameras here. Yeah, the camera's right there. Michael was also telling me that these spectacles right here, which is right by the first class cabin, that was in that dark hallway that's really creepy, and the workers have witnessed the spectacles moving inside of the glass case, but since they put it in this glass case, it hasn't moved anymore. So Michael was sharing some other history with me here. If you walk by Mr. Frederick Fleet, it feels like his eyes are following you, which is kind of strange. Never noticed that until he pointed it out. Stop looking at me. We're back in that dark hallway, and in this hallway, this is where those glasses were. Some of the workers would witness a dark figured man standing at the end of the hallway. I'm not sure. Wow, it's blurry. Maybe it was on that side. I just think that's so cool that they would move. I mean, these are glass cases. It's hard to see. It's so dark in here. So these dishes were recovered. There was hundreds of them, and they're fireproof, which is really cool. I mean, I guess they're waterproof as well. But yeah, a lot of them were found in the sand, like perfectly preserved. I think I walked right past this last time too. Okay, after talking to Michael, he told me this is one of their newest additions to the brush right there, and everything on display in here too. There's some shoelaces, there's a pencil. Look at that pencil. Wow, how is that in such good condition? Now if you want to, you could stand here and see which one of the people died from the card they gave you. See, but a lot of people don't know this. You can go right up to here and scan, and you could see. So he was 48 years old. I just saw this too. He was in first class. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that he survived. So let's do that. Oh, there we go. All right, Emil Franklin Brandeis. Brandeis? I don't know if I said that right. I totally said that wrong. I thought it was Brandles. I need some glasses. Emil's large family and community mourned his loss. Oh no, he died. His body was sent to Chicago for cremation and then delivered to Omaha for a well-attended service. Body recovered by C.S. Mackey Bennett. I mean, that's good news at least, that his family was able to have closure and know that he did pass away and actually have a body to bury. He's buried at Pleasant Hill Cemetery in Omaha, Nebraska. Rest in peace, Mr. Emil Franklin Brandeis. I think he owned a store too. It says some facts here about him. He overseen a lot of building projects in the city's development in Omaha, and he supported a large number of charitable organizations, sometimes giving money and clothing directly to the less fortunate. What a nice dude. I know it's been a while, but please say a prayer for Emil Franklin's family. Really sorry that you had to pass away, but hope you're in heaven. And you get to keep these too, which I find pretty cool. Whoa, check that out.
Not to mention the risk of many lives.
That must be one of the underwater drones used to film and take pictures
beneath the ocean surface.
of the Titanic.
Sought artifacts in the chaos.
I haven't seen it on there, but Probably some of that video right there
extended to carefully
was done by
retrieve the
that thing.
object in a
I did not know this, but the Titanic story was the first international story ever, according to what I just heard. Not sure the accuracy on that, but I mean, think about it. All the passengers, there was all walks of life on the Titanic, a melting pot of different cultures, different class citizens. So the exhibit that I went to, because there's quite a few, there's one even close to Florida where I live that is owned by the same people, I believe. But this one, if you've ever watched the movie Night at the Museum, you know, all the animals come to life and all the people, all the things in the exhibit at nighttime come to life. And the reason why everything came to life in the middle of the night was because of this tablet that was Egyptian. Now, I know that that's all fiction and all, it's a movie and it was written, but I can't help notice that where this Titanic exhibit is in an Egyptian-inspired pyramid in Las Vegas, also known as the Luxor. Now, this place itself is haunted. I did a video here. There's talks of the Egyptians actually putting a curse on this place because it wasn't built to their specs. There's a lot of Egyptian culture and inscriptions, things like that, things that I don't even understand. I mean, who knows what some of these symbols mean, but yeah, we are in a giant pyramid right now that is haunted, and you can't stay here in the middle of the night. Place is super cool. Wow. I didn't even really notice how the outside also looks like the Titanic ship. Oh my gosh, it looks like there's a hooded figure looking down at us right now. Like right up there.